Hi, I'm Barbara Cottrell. I'm a project scientist at UC Irvine, and I study the chemistry of seawater. I'm participating in a research cruise from Barbados to Bermuda on the research vessel Atlantic Explorer. I'd like to invite you to join our cruise through our blog and see what marine research is like, and also experience some life at sea. The Atlantic Explorer is a 175-foot ship with fully equipped research labs. There are 14 participating scientists, and we'll be studying phytoplankton, physical and chemical oceanography, and marine aerosol. And we're all interested in how climate change and ocean acidification affect the biology and the chemistry of ocean waters. I study the chemistry of the naturally occurring organic matter in seawater. The organic matter is produced by the microorganisms themselves. It's both chemically and photochemically reactive. The organic matter binds metals and regulates the availability of nutrients such as iron and copper. The organic matter is also photochemically reactive, and it produces reactive oxygen species that are essential to marine chemistry. I'm interested in how ocean acidification affects the composition and reactivity of this organic matter. We'll be collecting seawater from the ocean surface to 3,000 meters. We use a special apparatus called a CTD. The CTD has 24 12-liter Niskin bottles, which can be closed at any depth. I'll extract the organic matter from 12 to 20 liters of seawater using small solid phase extraction cartridges. I'll then extract the organic matter in my lab in Irvine and complete the analysis there. The trip is a training cruise to introduce us to the planning, preparation, and coordination of all our research projects. We must bring all our supplies. 1 ton of equipment was shipped from 14 labs around the country and is now waiting for us in Barbados. I hope you will join us in the other schools already registered with our blog. We'll post photos and answer any questions along the trip. It's a great opportunity for us to share our research with future marine chemists and oceanographers. Thank you.
Hi there, Firewolves. My name is Kristen Davis. I'm a professor at UC Irvine, and I'm here to invite you to join us on an expedition that will be going on at the end of May and all of June into the South China Sea. So we are going to visit a coral reef that is on an atoll, and an atoll is a round island. This one is shaped very much like an O. And atolls are formed when you have a volcanic island and corals grow around the edge, and over time the volcano sinks, but the corals keep growing to the surface. So you end up with a very round looking reef. So this reef is of special interest to us because it lives in a very extreme environment where it sees a lot of variability. And coral reefs, which are a very important ecosystem in our oceans, typically like very stable environments. They don't like things to change very much. But as our climate changes, coral reefs are experiencing more and more change. And so we want to study this coral reef in the South China Sea to understand how reefs deal with natural change, with a lot of variability. And this particular reef sees a lot of variability because it sits right in the way of one of the biggest internal wave fields that we have measured in our oceans. And an internal wave is similar to a surface wave that you probably know from being at the beach that we surf on, and makes it rough when there's a storm at sea. But internal waves actually happen inside the ocean, and they propagate along between different densities of water. And so what's interesting about internal waves is that because they propagate within the ocean and between densities that are somewhat less than the difference between air and water, they can get to be very big. So while a wave of about 2 meters might attract a whole bunch of surfers to the ocean, the internal waves inside the ocean can be hundreds of times that big. And they can bring water that's really cold and potentially has low oxygen, lots of nutrients, and low pH, up to the corals, and this can bring, make some very different conditions for them. So we are going to Dangsha in May and June to measure these internal waves and how they affect the reef itself. When we want to know what strategies do these corals have for dealing with this kind of variability, and can corals that live in other areas adopt some of these strategies for dealing with some of the change that they will experience due to future climate change. So again, I invite you to come along. We'll have a blog online and you're welcome to post some questions there and see some of the pictures from our field work and hear about how it's going. Hope to see you there.